It's the Meatlock. You see the text, and it's the UFC 286 Meatlock, and it's our boy Muhammed Mokaev. We've Meatlocked him before, always reliable, and at 22 years old, and a guy that Tom Aspinall describes as one of the best he's ever seen, and a definite future champ at just 22 years old. It's a confident one against Jared Filho, and you could say this one just kind of just fell into Muhammad Mokaev's lap. He's been asking for tough guys, and he's down to fight anyone, anytime, especially those fun hometown matches, which is what this fight will be at the O2. But some have been a little discouraged by the opponents and the quality that have been given to him. But he's just going out there and fighting who the UFC feeds him. And if you really do a deep dive, like these guys aren't bad. Cody Durden is a pretty solid guy at this point in his career. He's been rifling off wins ever since getting smoked by Mokaev. And Charles Energy Johnson, shout out to Cultibiano's corner. Another solid fighter, but he's able to make easy work of him as well. And then most recently got that light work finish over Malcolm Gordon, and that one did test him a little bit. I mean, in the sense that it had to go to the third round, where usually he finishes it a little bit earlier. But nonetheless, beautiful performances from our boy Mokaev, and he's taking on Jared Filho, who will be making his debut. He's 14-2, a guy who was a recent Contender Series product and fought on that one Contender Series card that really produced a lot of killers. And it's only been 6 or 7 months removed, but it's aging quite nicely, right? Raul Rosas Jr. was on there, Narulo Aliev was on there, and Bruno Ferreira. So it was a pretty stacked Contender Series card, but Jared Filho was probably the worst guy on that card, and Austin Lane was a guy who also picked up a contract. So it took Jared Filho all 3 rounds to finish Roberto Echeverria, and in that one, he was eating meat bombs from Roberto and did pull off the YOLO finish at the end, but was a little bit too slow, and we think is way in over his head in this one against Mokaev. So what do you like about Muhammad in this one? How do you think he gets it done, and it's going to be early and often?
Yeah, this is honestly going to be a sad night for the Contender Series boy, because Muhammad is going to absolutely decimate. He's going to ragdoll this guy, submit him, finish him in the first round. I just don't see this going past the first round. I think this is going to be early and often. Probably one of the easiest locks I've ever seen. I just feel bad that the Dana White Contender Series guys got to start with a killer like Muhammad. Like, this is crazy. But hey, I love to see it, so we're going to take advantage of this. Another lock.
Yeah, you're right. It's not ideal for El Pastor, but definitely is ideal for the Punisher. And 95% is rolling with the Meat Boys. They're taking Mokaev. There's a lot of copper for that sub, and the rest of the majority thinks that a beige decision is most likely. Only 5%, the friends and family of Filio, is rolling with El Pastor, and it's basically all brown. So I guess like a YOLO KO is what they are envisioning for their boy, but it's one where I think some might look at a perceived size difference. Like Jared Filho is massive. The dude's coming up to the gills essentially, and Mokaev meanwhile is built a little bit differently. But Mokaev has those really long arms, and he's a little bit taller than people think. So I think totally with you. Mokaev makes easy light work of this one. I like the submission. I like it to be early and often. And as a result, we're going pretty heavy, throwing down a decent 2,100 at minus 750. It's going to net an easy 280, and it's just another easy Meatlock victory for sure. So any last thoughts on the Meatlock for UFC 286, Meat Boy?
No, yeah, this is a lock nonetheless. Great fight. Should be very fun to watch the Punisher punish another victim. Throw in the comments who you taking, why, and if you're riding the Meat Boys or not.